Hello, everyone. This is Lily. I am back and just really excited to give you a quick update as to what's been going on with me. As some of you know, I started this 30-day manifestation project as a result of feeling unappreciated in a relationship that has ended. And I was having a lot of negative feelings and emotions as a result of just the way that I was treated in the relationship. And as a result of that, I decided that I wanted to turn those emotions around and utilize them in a positive way. So, use that energy in a positive way that was going to benefit me. And part of this was taking responsibility of the fact that I feel like you create your own reality, and I felt like I created that situation. And so, in the process of taking control and taking responsibility of what I had created, I wondered to myself, would it be possible to create my own reality, but in a way that is going to benefit me? And so that's how the whole concept of the 30-day project started. Um, and so part of what I wanted to do was, just begin a website with some information, as well as provide interviews and beneficial information for people who, may be going through something difficult and want to change their life around. So, my quick update. So, I have continued Bikram yoga, which has been extremely helpful and I feel like has really helped to detoxify my mind, body, and spirit. So, and that's more of the hot yoga. So, it's a heated room and you're doing, I think it's about 26 poses. And that has been extremely helpful. I've also been meditating, using visualization techniques, really focusing on what I want my future and my present to look like in that specific day. And I've noticed some subtle changes. So I think to me it's evidence enough that some of this works. In addition to that, and I'm just going to switch my hand here because I'm using my iPhone to record. In addition to that, I've decided that I was going to go back to more of a fruitarian, a raw vegan diet. In this case, it's going to be more of a fruitarian, more of an 80-10-10, focusing mainly on fruits and vegetables and very little overt fats. So, just to see what that turns out to feel like, if there's any changes in terms of energy, mental clarity, that's what I'm hoping to achieve from that. But so I've been doing a little bit of research in terms of, just visualization and the concept of the flow, and have found some very, very interesting information, which I'm sure you'd love to hear. So the whole concept of being in the flow is, or being in the zone. I'm sure many of you have heard the term, and it tends to be more used with athletes. So being in the flow is the whole concept of being so highly focused on one thing that you're doing, whether it be playing the piano, whether it be reading, whether it be playing football, being so focused on that one thing at the exclusion of anything else. So, any other feelings, emotions, sensations, memories, anything else, at the exclusion of anything else. And you're so hyper focused on that that it brings you a lot of pleasure. And a lot of people explain that the feeling can feel as though you are detached from reality because you are so focused on that one thing. And so a lot of athletes have the ability, a lot of people experience it spontaneously, but a lot of athletes have the ability to induce being in the flow. And so that is one concept that I found extremely interesting, and can be utilized, I think, with the law of attraction and manifesting your desires and creating your own reality. In addition to that, the whole concept of visualization. So there is research out there that shows that the mind does not have the ability to distinguish between what is going on in the present moment or something that is real and something that you are thinking about. So, for example, um, a lot of people who have experienced trauma will reenact in their minds that traumatic event, and the mind does not have the ability to decipher. You do as a conscious person, obviously, but the brain itself does not have the ability to decipher between that of what you are actually experiencing and that in which you are thinking, and so it triggers the physiological effect, as though you were experiencing that in the moment, even though you're just thinking about it. Um, so they've actually done research on people, and they took three groups. So there were three groups in this one research, And what they did is that the first group they were taught to play the piano. They were taught a set of certain chords and had to physically manipulate the keyboards to be able to, play the different chords that they were taught or the song that they were taught. The second group um, were had to mentally rehearse the chords, but were not given the opportunity to actually practice on the piano. So they had to visually remember the chords without actually practicing on the piano. And the third group, weren't taught anything at all. And so what they found is, interestingly enough, obviously the third group who weren't taught anything at all did not progress on playing the specific song. So they did not make any progress on playing the specific song. The first group, which was the group that was actually playing the keyboard, physically manipulating the keys to be able to play the chords, improved obviously because they practiced, a certain amount of times per week. But what's interesting enough is that the second group, who did not actually manipulate the keyboards, did not physically manipulate the keyboards to create, or the keys to create the music, but mentally rehearsed the keys, made some improvement, not as much as the first group, but did actually make some improvement. And what this tells you is, going back to the same concept, that the mind does not have the ability to know what is actually happening, and, what you're thinking about. And so it will set off the physiological effects, and it will trigger the physiological effect as though you were, you know, physically rehearsing the keyboard and still are able to make some improvements. And so I kind of thought about, would it be possible to connect those two concepts, the concepts of the flow and the mental rehearsal in visualizing what it is that you want. And this is what I've been trying to understand a little bit more, and have been trying to integrate a little bit into my life, trying to get into that zone, trying to be able to be so highly focused on that thing, and utilizing mental rehearsal for what it is that I want my future to look like, and integrating the law of attraction with the emotions, with the visualization, the mental rehearsal, being in the flow while doing it, and utilizing and integrating all of that to be able to achieve my goals and what it is that I want. So it's something to think about. There's a little bit of research out there, and I'm going to see if I can find some more information and maybe post some links where you can find more information about that. So just wanted to give that quick update. By the way, I do have a very interesting interview coming up on Monday, which I'm really excited about. I don't want to give away any secrets, so stay tuned, and I will see you then. Take care.